I want to introduce Ginny Manning, a true patriot friend. This is our third rally together with Citizens for Freedom! I actually think they have the better name. I love that name. But it's not up for grabs for 3 more years, so I'm waiting.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm going to let her speak, but I just want to let everybody to know that this is a joint effort. And also, we're getting the raw shaft from the media. I'm tired of getting the raw deal, aren't you?
Yes.
I'm ready for the real deal in these candidates that we see along here, but not only that, in our media as well. And John and Jenny, I don't know if any of you got interviewed. There's Patrick right there. We're starting our own new media. Citizens for Freedom is posting it and giving out interviews. So excited about that. We're just going to show the media that we can do it without them. Thank you.
Hi. I'm so glad to be here and to co-host this with Cheryl and Randy, my husband John, my kids are here, and all you patriots. It's just really exciting to have the support. But I have a website, Citizen with the number 4, Freedom, and I'd appreciate if you come and visit. Your face will probably be in a photo on the website. And we support all the Tea Party groups that have shown up. We supported Gary, too. We're so glad that he came out today. But we support the patriot groups in the area. So please come and check us out. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
All right, before I call the next one up, I just want to thank all the junior patriots. Where are our junior patriots? They're running around here. Let's give it up for our junior patriots. I mean, they've been watching the literature tables and putting up yard signs, and we just love them. That's the next generation. I want to introduce another dear patriot friend. How many of you get emails from Judy Pepinella? Come on, just about everybody, right? This is Judy Pepinella from Suffolk County, Long Island. She keeps a lot of us together, worked long and hard for Gary Bernstein's campaign. I love her. She's a great patriot friend, and she came up here with Gary today, and I thank you for doing that.
Hey guys, give it up for Cheryl, for Randy, and for everybody up here who's doing what you're doing. I'm with the Conservative Society for Action. I'm also with Tea Party Patriots. I'm co-coordinator for the state. My attitude is simple. As long as you believe in liberty, as long as you believe in this country, you believe in God, and you want to help our children have a future, then you're a friend of mine. And I think I'm a pretty lucky lady because there's a lot of friends that I've got in my camp, so I think we're doing pretty good. The last 2.5 years have been a little crazy. We've all had some interesting changes in our lives. My son's here with me. He'll verify that. It's like, are you still with us, Mom? Do we know who you are? Are you coming home tonight that I can see you besides on a pillow? Because they come in like, and that's about it. It's worth it. I see these kids running around. My son starts his real world next year. He's 18. He gets to make a decision. My 14-year-old wants to go to college to be a chef, not a scientist. I want them to do what they want to do. I want every kid to do what they want to do. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, and every one of us are. I am 3,000% behind Carl Palladino. I was 4,000% behind this man. But I understand, sorry, Gary, I'm terrible. But I understand that the people voted, and I believe in standing by what we, the people, voted on. That man has to be our next governor. We have to get Carl elected. We have to vote on the taxpayers' line. It's not to be nasty to the Republicans. It's not to be nasty to the conservatives. It gives you, we the people, the right for ballot access and an opportunity to put our candidates forward, not begging for position with them. Our people get the right to say, excuse me, but these committeemen, these town leaders voted for this candidate. They are now in the primary. They are one in same with you. Pick up with us, figure it out, and we will have a great deal. Taxpayers' line is mandatory, not just for Carl, not just for Joe Diaguardi, but for we the people. It's imperative. I am a Republican, but I have to tell you, it's imperative that we understand why that taxpayer line is important. You got to vote for Carl. Get 10 people. I'm sorry, I go for bigger numbers. Get all your friends. Put a sign on your front lawn. Put a sign at your polling station. Because every time you go to vote, and I'm only saying the one time, bring a sign with you. I'm putting Palladino, I'm putting Townsend, I'm putting DiaGuardia and my local guys when I go to vote. So the next person will see it and go, last touch. Gary taught me that, and last touch. Next person comes up, oh, but if 5 people put a Palladino sign, this must be Carl country. Okay, I'm going to vote for Carl. They may not know. People walk in blind. Give them something to think about. Put a sign at the polling station. God bless all of you. Thank you. And do me a favor. Vote, 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 vote. Thank you.
I had to do that. Do we have any other candidates here? I don't think, I know Jay Townsend, I will tell you, really wanted to be here, but the debate is tomorrow night against Chuck Schumer, and he is in debate prep mode. So he sends his regards. George Phillips also was planning to be here, but had a death in the family. So we send our sympathies to George, and that's where he's at. Do I have any other candidates? I know we had a judge here earlier, but I think he's gone. I know that we have an Orange County legislator over here, Mike Anastakis and Colleen, that we call dear friends. And I'm really happy. They come to just about everything we do and support us, and that means a lot. We won't hold it against them that they're Republicans. Actually, I'm a Republican, but what can I say? Mike has been wonderful to just help us through this whole process, and I thank him. I also want to shout out to Ricky DeSantis. Ricky DeSantis has come on strong with our group here in the last few weeks. I want you to know Ricky DeSantis is the one that provided us with the taxpayers' party line banners. He also has done tremendous amount of work researching some of these candidates that our candidates are going up against, and all of that literature is in your literature bag. Please do not leave here today without taking the literature bag from us. It gives you information about the candidates, gives you information about our Tea Party, about Citizens for Freedom. Please don't leave without that. I'm going to now let Brian introduce Gary Bernstein, and then we'll close this session.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce our featured speaker, Gary Bernstein. He's ex-CIA, and he's also run for senator on the taxpayer line and the Republican line. One additional thing about this man is he was in Afghanistan, and he walked the walk. He doesn't just talk the talk. And with that, I'd like to introduce him.
Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me? First off, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Of course, I want to thank Cheryl and Randy for putting this together, and all the other Tea Party members. We all know why we're here. We all know why this is important. What I want to say to each one of you, because I've gotten to know many of you during this campaign, each and every one of you has the individual ability to change this election. Each and every one of you should be proud of the fact that you've come out, that you've organized, that you've worked. Revolutions begin with small numbers of people. Sometimes political revolutions begin in the mind of one person, who then pushes that forward, and that convinces others to participate, and that slowly but surely pushes forward a movement. This is how America was born. This is how other democracies and countries have moved forward. We have to remember, you individually can make that difference. There are candidates here that need your help. Of course, we all support Carl Palladino. We've talked about Carl. But of course here, we've got George Phillips in this area. I'm going to ask every single one of you today here, every person that's here, if you have not done so, go home today, get on the computer, I'm going to do that, I promise, and donate money to George Phillips today. If it's 25, 50, 100, go on and give George one final push. Please. Please do this. I know as a candidate, having run for the Senate, how hard this is. The truth is, Wall Street and the wealthy are not going to help us, ladies and gentlemen. We, the middle class, are in this alone. Only those of us that are here are going to step forward and help these candidates. I have met George Phillips. I like George Phillips. He's a friend of mine. All of us are busy, though. We're all doing all sorts of things for candidates. But go and help George today. I ask you all as a special plea. Also, each one of us here, as we get down these last few days, get on your computer and send emails to every person you know to get out. We have got to get people out to help our candidates. This particular race is close for George, and we got to help him. Carl Palladino. Carl Palladino is a very, very good man. Carl is a friend of mine. I like Carl a lot. I've been helping Carl on Tuesday down on Long Island. We've got a veterans meeting for Carl that I'll be at. We're going to get as many people out for Carl as possible. We can do this. We are going to have significant turnout. Do not listen to the polls. Do not allow the polls to dissuade you. The polls during the primary were all wrong. People don't know what's going to happen. They do not know what's going to happen. The people that determine what's going to happen are standing here right now. It's all about how hard we push. It's all about how hard we work. We've only got about 9 days left. I would ask you again, I would compel you to get out, spend the last few days here, working as hard as you can, get people out to the polls. Use your email. That's the most efficient way. Make phone calls. Get them out to the polls. New York State has lost 1.5 million people in the last 6 or 7 years have fled this state. And I'll tell you, if Andrew Cuomo gets elected, we're going to lose another 1.5 million in the next year because he's going to drive this economy down. Carl Palladino has stated clearly what he's going to do. He's going to drop taxes. He's going to drop spending. And only with those steps do we have any chance of saving this state and saving this country. When we talk about the national debt, when we talk about $13.6 trillion that we owe, that doesn't include the state's debts. It doesn't include what New York owes. It doesn't include what California owes, or Michigan, or Florida. We have a much more serious problem economically in this country than anyone talks about, that anyone will face up to. It starts at the state level. We've got to do this. I want to say to you all that we're not alone. We've got young men and women fighting for this country abroad. We've got people here like yourselves that are all pushing and for the Tea Party, and this is what's going to be required. All of us are going to have to be in this thing. The 2nd of November is the first day on the rest of the day, for the rest of our lives. We're going to have to fight on after that. This isn't going to be won with just one election. That's going to be the first, and on November 3rd, we're going to have to start organizing for the election in 212. All of you have made a difference. I've seen so many of your faces, and I'm so grateful, and I've met so many good friends in this process. But this is only the beginning. Please continue to work on. Please get out there and support our candidates. Please do everything you can. And again, one last pitch for George. Every one of us today has got to get out there and donate some money to George tonight and get other people to help him, because we can win that race. God bless you all. Thank you for coming out. I think you're all wonderful.
Gary was the only one I didn't introduce, and I didn't want him to think that he wasn't special. I asked Brian to do it because of the military. But Judy and I were just reflecting that it's killing us. Our hearts are aching that we didn't see Gary in that debate tomorrow night. We're happy for Jay Townsend, but we hope Gary will continue to consider to run again, because what an awesome person you are. And I can't say enough about Gary. And it really, I'll cry if I think about him being here and being with us and all the work that we did for him and all the work that he did for us. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.